Go.
Duh. Well, if you see this now, you may ask, why the hell aren't we on Zoom? And that's because technically there's not a lot to show, and the reason we'll show you is on this board. But TLDR, there is no point. So, given that most of the given that we have to do a lot of like the reapproach to the concept. And alright, let's just walk through why. So this is initially the idea. If you saw our presentation, which was probably terrible, this was probably like the potluck one, if you remember. And these guys are, well, it's probably terrible right here. Like, they are all hosts, right? And they would, so the hosts in this scenario, they would have equal voting rights, if you will, and they would like share all the input together, right? This would work for like small groups. I don't know, if you're with your family, if you're dating, if you're in a polycule, for example. I don't really condone that, but you know, if you're in a polycule, like, that probably works out for you. But anyways, what I'm saying is, this is not monetizable. Obviously there are other ways to monetize, for example, ads, but this is not really consistent, I think. And even though it probably doesn't fit the party culture, but it's like a bunch of people, I think. Which brings us to this, but even then, let me slightly explain the idea. So, the idea currently is that we would post, like the AI would read all the information here, and then it would like separate them into like different sections with facts, and then the AI can jump in with more information if necessary. So this is just average react, right? We probably have done this last week. I already showed it last week. Nothing too interesting. Oh, this part is not related. But I mean, this is just average RAG, except for the, first of all, creating domains, which is average clustering, and secondly, making an AI that can answer you, which is probably useless. Because if you're in a group of 5 people, and you can't ask the other, any of the other 4 people to explain something to you, like, maybe that's not a group you want to be in. Like, that would be very toxic, Imagine being in a very toxic polycule. That's probably not good. Anyway. So, if you heard from us Thursday, you would already know that we changed our approach into more of a big group setting. Like, what do we call it? What do we call it? House party?
Yeah, the name of the project is House Party.
House Party. Which is a terrible name with absolutely no originality. Like,
Steve, I don't know if we have time to debate the semantics of this.
that is true. But shut up. Let me go. So, the idea is we have a bunch of hosts and a bunch of guests. Well, technically, a bunch of co-hosts and one host and a bunch of guests. And yeah, main reason that makes me think a lot is how we would make the whole process as seamless as possible. So we started with thinking about having AI assistant for the guests. This is probably the equivalent of co-assistant. If only co-assistant doesn't say, I don't know every sentence at all.
Ouch.
But in order to do this, we need the co-host to probably establish some level of ground truth. And the reasoning behind this is that the guests can yap whatever the fuck they want, right? But the ground truth given by the host are the most important, like the most important information. And so we plan to do this by having them fill in a form. This form will probably have 2 parts. It's either going to be, well, part 1 is going to be like, what's the event? And part 2 would be, how can the AI help you? Now, obviously, you don't explicitly ask this. You would give them like we were thinking we would give templates. So for example, if it's a small event, like this, then we can have a template on its own. Sanjana, one of the people we interviewed said that if it's like a smaller event where it's more tight knit, then the set of requirements are different. It's going to be like a fundamentally different approach from the prep people who we also interviewed, which you will see. Like it's literally in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's kind of illegal that we got it, but there will be different approaches, and because there are different approaches, we will need different templates. That's what we currently think. And then we can also ask the host for like more information. All of these feeds back into the front truths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obvious. And these front truths will be used for the AI assistant. So the AI assistant will try to answer to the best of their abilities only the front truths. And well, if we go back a bit more, so we already know that lab 9 is about RAG, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of obvious, but the idea behind it also is really a knowledge base.
Mm-hmm.
The knowledge base used in lab, was it 10? No, 9. The
Mm-hmm.
knowledge base used in lab 9 was the ADS cookbook itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, this will be a knowledge base with some modifications for the people. We will see if we decide to add like about me version that the bot can use, but that's all that's all. Good to know. Right. Anyways. So the AI system will only follow what the person found. This probably the fourth time I've said this. There are two issues with this. How do we resolve it when the bot doesn't know? This is actually the easy part. You just escalate to the host. This is literally a button. I don't know. You want to escalate to host, and then just escalate to host.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the bottom, it's just like, if you want to add something else, just type in something else.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger issue is, what if the answer is wrong? So a very obvious example we was thinking about is, let's say the ground truth is that the address is somewhere in Expo Park, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the AI is like, which Expo Park? Is it in California or New York? You're flying to New York for a USC versus UCLA watch party. I don't think. I hope so. that would be great. How would we deal with that?
Mm-hmm.
We test. That's it. Like, there's nothing else I can do about that. That also means we need some form of data by next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. Secondly, we have the conversation mediator, which is very probably useless now, but I will try to explain the idea. So this is probably not going to be called conversation mediator anymore. It's probably going to be more something like a watcher of sorts. So the the big group chat will still be a big group chat, right? It's just it's still going to be like how like WhatsApp, for example. It's just going to be like a glorified Slack.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to have a bunch of commands. Oh wait, these will be for bot. These will be for like the bot only. But the AI will be used here to collect like information to then be sent to the host interface.
Mm-hmm.
The host interface will be where the host and co-host like get the information. So remember at the start where it was like how can the AI help you?
Mm-hmm.
One of the very common answers that all three interviewees gave us is that it's much better to have some sort of to-do list or a reminder. And even when there are a lot of differences. So for the frat people, it's like they have to ask for vendors, they have to ask for tailgating, all of that. But for Sanjana, the lady we interviewed last week, it's more like nobody gives a shit. Like just go, like my house, duh. I don't need to,
Mm-hmm.
And so these will be like all of the stuff that is required to help help the host like make make their life easier. What do you call it? lighten the load.
Yeah, lighten their load.
Yeah, so everything that helps lighten the load will be here. And maybe, I don't think we have time, but maybe we can include something like a TLDR after of the conversation, right? Which would then be used. And the inspiration of this is not really interesting. It just comes from how memory works in most of the AI right now anyway. So they collect all the data through conversing with you, and they would just have like this field that says this is a memory that, this is the information I know about you. So yeah, like I said, we kind of need to completely change our approach again. But what's new and what needs to be done? And why do we have nothing? So, biggest thing here is the implementation of concepts. I've tried looking into how we will implement ground truths, trademarked, but not. But the ground truths matter especially because we need to, how would I say this? We need to ensure that they're factual. And these things are also like bound to change, right? And they can be changed from the host interface where they can like directly edit the host, the ground truths, which is perfectly fine. But also like, how do I say? The host interface, like, coding up the list of ground truths is a bit difficult because we have to encode them in a way where the assistant can ask, like the people can ask a variety of different questions, even compound questions, and they can still take the information out of ground truths. So this is actually, funnily enough, similar to what we did last week. You probably pull up our last week's stuff, where you have a list of facts, like Steve hates GitHub, If you remember that. So I was thinking of having something like similar to that in the practice. Yeah, I know, this is just word culture. But like this fact would be fed into like, I mean, yeah, it's just how RAG normally works. So this is actually not a word for it. And also why there's no point showing you, because it's the same idea. I think the bigger issue is the host interface. Because first of all, well, and this part in particular. First of all, changing ground truths is risky, as you already know. And we have to find a way to show ground truths in a way that is amendable to change, if you will. That is difficult. Secondly, we have to find a way to incorporate all of the information that everyone's talked about, because the host, well, the point of a host hosting a really big ass wedding is to also incorporate everyone's like advice, right? So if people have a bunch of advice, they would be like, well, if they matter enough, the host should know about them, right? But we also have to assign some sort of importance, which we have no clue how to. So for example, food restrictions is very high on the list. This is why we also have like this part about food restrictions in the potluck version. We don't know how to rate them yet. That is a massive issue. Well, the part of AI helping us is also another issue, because I have no fucking clue how this would work. Currently, this actually shows me. So we already have a bunch of questions and answers, right? But if we're thinking of either giving like a free, well, obviously you have to sanitize the data. Well, another reason why we have nothing, because I don't know how to sanitize the data, but you kind of have to do like either this or like a list of like either a question and answer that they can fill in, or just a field where they can fill in whatever, or the interesting part, the host / co-host, if they already hosted things similar before, they can have all their information refilled there, and then they fix them later on. This is, if you already know, the memory function. I have no idea how to implement that. I would think so. But I think that this is where we will go for the next several days and weeks. And like I said, this is probably already available. Implementing the functions will be very difficult. I haven't thought of how to do it. Implementing, like, okay, you know what? Let's just write down a to-do list because otherwise there's no point. Well, sorry man, you're 10 ways of saying hello, we'll have to go for it. So what's the to-do list? Because technically we are way behind schedule. I mean, we're both way behind schedule and way ahead of schedule, which is kind of wrong to say, but we are indeed way ahead of schedule. So, in terms of worrying about things, all right. So first of all, like I said, the rack thing we already have done, but now we have to accommodate for countries, right? So I have to find a way to, if given a form of stuff and then other things, to accommodate for the front truths, to write the front truths in a way that makes sense. Then we have to actually test them. Yeah, like we'll actually have to test this part. This is actually a very important part of everything. If this part doesn't work, then we don't have an app. Then we have to, I mean, creating a group chat is, as you can see, I don't know how to create a group chat. And then add AI Watcher into set group chat. This is not too bad, I don't think. And now comes the hard part that I am completely unsure on how to do. No, it actually comes from here. And so then I'll have to implement a bunch of codes. It's probably called like moderator or whatever. But we will rename it to like host, co-host, and then a bunch of guests, right? And then that have a different stuff. And once all that is done, we'll have to build a posted business. Wait, that's not bad. I thought it would be way worse. The front end will be way worse. And then we'll have to do alls. What else? Yeah, I have to add awesome front end. Well, I mean, he's expert, right? Yeah. But if you don't see anything like these done by us next week, we're doomed.
Yeah.
We're doomed.
Yeah.
Like, we'll spend a week thinking about this. I think all three of our members were decided to take this week off for various issues.
Yeah.
We still spent time thinking about this, and we still try to close something up. But it's still not worth it to talk about it when this probably does a lot more work showing you what needs to be done. So, did I miss something?
I don't know. My brain's gonna
I guess one more thing. Like I said, this has to be done by Monday. Like there's no.
Yeah.
If you don't see us Monday, you might as well give us a B minus. That's
okay. Let's not make those kinds of statements, Steve.
I mean, not even joking. Like, if we don't get us done, we're fucked.
We'll figure it out.
That's true, but yeah. That was a joke, but.
Yeah, that was a joke, Dr. That was a joke, Dr. Joe.
I don't think it was funny, but.
Steve's playing with fire, and it's too late in the night for that for me.
That is true. But there you go. That's probably the whole